Today, I'll be talking about the 10 smoothest rides I've ridden. I've been lucky enough to be on some glass smooth attractions that have no hint of rattle, and I want to reward those rides by putting them into a top 10 today. But before I start, I do have 3 honorable mentions, being Maverick, Manta, and Icebreaker, but other than that, let's begin. 10th place is Mystic Timbers. Mystic Timbers, when it comes to wooden coasters, are some of the smoothest rides that you will find. Kings Island takes a lot of time during the off-season to repair and retrek many sections of this ride, and you can tell when riding it. It has almost none of that bad wooden coaster bounciness or shake, which I appreciate since Mystic Timbers is a low-to-the-ground airtime machine, and the smoothness complements the ride and its elements pretty well. Next up is Val Raven. No surprise a B&M is on the list, being that many of their coasters are very smooth, and this is only the first one on the list. Val Raven, even with its large elements and huge valleys, are little to no rattle at any point during the ride. The bottom of the first drop and Immelman have none of that nasty steel rattle, unlike rides like Banshee or Diamondback. Even when on the outside seats, it allows you to take in these huge elements a lot more comfortably. The smoothest wooden coaster on the list is Racer. This ride feels like a steel coaster. And it's even more surprising when just 3 seasons ago, both sides were super bad and rough coming from first-hand experience. But the work that the park and the Gravity Group have put in have worked out wonderfully. You glide across the track so effortlessly, and the airtime hills and valleys have 0 rough spots, which is so impressive, and I'm so glad Kings Island made these upgrades. The Giga Coaster Orion is number 7. Another B&M, and even though it is one of the newer ones, there is absolutely no hint or rattle anywhere on this ride. If it's from the first drop to the turnaround or all the way to the helix, it is glass smooth, which is all that you can hope for in a Giga, but B&M came through with some stellar track here. As well as the low-to-the-ground moments, even though few on this ride are just as smooth, which is a weak point for other Gigas. Up next is Gatekeeper. The reason why I love this ride is not because of the intensity or because it has the most insane layout in the world. The reason why it ranks so high for me is because the elements and the inversions are very smooth and enjoyable to a degree where anyone can ride it. The track is buttery smooth, which is impressive because even on the outside seats, they can sometimes be bouncy, but for Gatekeeper, it's no problem. Overall, a top-tier ride for smoothness. The 5th spot is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventures. Hagrid's gets talked about for a lot of reasons, if it's its insane theming, for the queue line on ride, or the crazy amount of different elements on this ride, but the most underrated factor is the smoothness. The ride is so long, and no spot on the 5,000 feet of track is a bumpy or has a rattle. And for families, that's an amazing thing that you can have because kids won't be uncomfortable while riding and can attract a lot more people to the ride. 4th place is Veloci Coaster. Another Islands of Adventure launch coaster finds itself on this list. Veloci Coaster, even though a very high-thrill coaster with many fast-paced turns and inversions, it is buttery smooth, including those launches, which are super nice. Because some launch coasters, like Flight of Fear, have a little bit of a rattle, and that's not really ideal. But since Veloci Coaster is so new, only opening in 2021, it doesn't have that problem, glass smooth, and that's why it's the 2nd best coaster I have ridden. A surprise at number 3 is Snoopy Soapbox Racers. The new for 2024 Family Boomerang is one of the smoothest coasters in the United States, and I'm being so real. And this gets me so excited for those new high-thrill Vekomas, since if those are even as close to being this smooth, it's gonna be amazing. Both forward and backwards, you glide across the track, and you feel like you're not even on a roller coaster. That's how smooth it is. Just can't wait for those Vekomas to start coming over to the US, man. The runner-up is Mako. This is regarded as one of the smoothest coasters in the United States, and I would have to agree. I have been on some other B&Ms, like I said earlier, even some being on this list, but this one comes out on top. Don't know what they did differently here, but it was amazing. For the entire 4,000 feet of track, it's so graceful and beautiful, honestly. That combined with the world-class floater, and you have an amazing airtime, just near perfect engineering here. Finally, the number 1 spot is Steel Vengeance. For the number 1 spot, you could probably put almost any RMC hybrid, since they all use the same iBox track, which is one of the best coaster inventions ever. The fact that it allows all these crazy airtime and inversion moments on some of the smoothest track is beyond me. The entire ride, there's not even a slightest amount of roughness or bounciness like other coasters. I wish all coasters out there were as smooth as this because it's some of the most enjoyable track out there. Thanks for watching. Tell me what ride has been the smoothest in your past rides. But other than that, have a good day.